Hey guys, it's Amy. Welcome back to Too Blessed and Happy New Year. I wanted to get this video up a little bit sooner. I was planning to do it right after Christmas, but then right after Christmas my husband and I both got really sick. We were sick the whole week between Christmas and New Year's, and I was also having some problems with our internet service. You may have seen that if you saw any of my Christmas home tour. It took me like a week to get those videos uploaded and finally get them published. So it's we're already into January. It's January 4th. My Christmas decorations are still up because I usually leave mine up until at least about January 12th. Oh, my camera's trying to focus again. Sorry. But anyway, we usually leave our decorations up until around January 12th. So, which is next Friday. I'll probably start working on it during the week next week. It probably won't all be done by January 12th. And I just I take my time. I do it slowly, and it takes me a long time. So, some people don't like that. Some people take everything down the day after Christmas, and that's fine for you. But for me, I enjoy having it up, and I love having it up. So I wanted to do this in front of the tree so, I could show you my tree one more time. But some of these items are pretty large, and so it just kind of worked out better to sit on the sofa and be able to have space to put them all. I'm surrounded by Christmas gifts right now. So what I wanted to share with you today is what my husband and I got each other for Christmas. You guys, I tried to convince him to be in the video with me. He thought about it, but he's just not comfortable. So I'm going to do this one by myself, but hopefully sometime in the future I will convince him to be in a video with me. So we'll see if we can convince him sometime. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through the gifts in the order that we gave them to each other, because what happened is we ended up giving some of the gifts early and then some of the gifts on Christmas Day. So I'm just going to kind of jump in here, and I'll start with who gave the first one and what it was. So we ended up giving some of them early because a couple of days before Christmas, my husband came in and he just said, "Do you want one of your gifts early?" And I usually don't. I usually don't want them early. Like, I would rather wait and open gifts on Christmas. But he was really excited about this particular gift, and once I saw it and I knew what it was, and now looking back, I'm glad he gave it to me early because I love it so much. So this is what he got me. I'm not going to be able to show you the whole thing, but this is a comforter that he found. I believe he got it at Walmart, and it is so amazing that I have dubbed it my magic blanket because it just is so comfortable. It was called a plush velvet comforter because the top here, and this is the design that it's just in shades of like black and gray and kind of a cream color. When I first saw it, I actually wasn't crazy about the pattern. Oop, there goes the focus again, sorry. I wasn't crazy about the pattern, but it's kind of grown on me just because of the colors, because our bedroom is done in shades of black and white. And I wanted to find a blanket for our bed that would be something we could use every day, but then also would serve as, like a decorative comforter, because I've got a comforter for our bed, but I take it off because I don't want it to get ruined. It's like the pretty comforter that you put on top. And I really want to start getting in the habit of making our bed every day. And so I wanted like an everyday comforter that we use, but would also, go along with our color scheme and would look okay in the room. And so I think this one is really going to work nicely. I kind of like that it's like a more masculine design. A lot of the things I have are very, flowery and floral, and my husband doesn't fully appreciate that. So, but anyway, it's called a velvet plush comforter because the top part here is a real velvety feeling fabric, and then underneath where the magic is, it is this like plush, focus. It's this plush, like furry, so soft, just, it's just amazing. It really is. I mean, that's, I keep joking and calling it my magic blanket because, especially when I was sick, that week after Christmas, I spent a lot of time in bed, and this blanket just, I can't even say enough about it. It's just so comforting and cozy. And I actually tend to be hot when I sleep, and my husband is very cold when he sleeps. So we used to sleep, he would be piled up with like 3 or 4 blankets, and I would have like maybe one little blanket. But there were a few nights that we actually both slept under this blanket, and we were both comfortable, even though I'm usually hot and he's usually cold. So that's another reason I kind of dubbed it the magic blanket, because it's been working so well just for both of us. So that was probably my favorite present. And oops, I gotta try to get it out of the way now. So since he gave me that gift early, I felt like I wanted to go ahead and give him one of his gifts early. Now, I had all his gifts already, and I had them wrapped under the tree. And so I knew that this gift was kind of a big one. And so I decided that since he gave me that one, I was going to give him what I considered his big gift. And so what I got him was this book. If you could say, it says The Reasons I Love You. Oh, focus. By Amy. And this is one of those from a company called Love Book. I think that's the website address. I'll try to add that in the description, the actual address of their website, just to make sure I get it correct. But basically what it is you go on there and you customize a book. So you get to customize these little characters to kind of try to make them look like yourselves. You know, you can't get them really close, but here's what ours looked like. And like this one says, I love that you are my best friend. Oh, the focus on this camera. So, and I'm not going to show you all of them. Some, you know, some of them are just little private, like, inside jokes and things like that between us. But that I knew, I actually had seen this a few years ago, and I knew that it would really be something he would like. My husband is he's very sentimental and romantic. He loves romantic gifts and, you know, gifts that have some kind of meaning behind them. So I think he really appreciated this, and it's just, you know, it's just one of those little cute things that now we'll have this forever, hopefully. And, you know, we can just sit and look at it, and it reminds us, you know, it's one of those things you can look at and remind yourself of the reasons that you love that person. So I like that too. I dropped one of my presents on the floor. I gotta pick it up real quick. Okay. Okay, so then at that point, you know, I figured that the rest of the gifts we would open on Christmas Day, and I had 2 other gifts for him, and then we usually have a family dinner on Christmas Eve that we host in our house. And this year, with Christmas Eve being on a Sunday, it wasn't really going to work out for us to do it on Sunday. Just with going to church and everything, there just wouldn't be time to go to church and then be able to have the time to prepare the dinner and everything. Or, you know, we could have figured out how to do it, but we would have been really rushed because there wouldn't have been as much time. So we decided to do it on Saturday. So we had our family Christmas celebration on Saturday. We had my sister and brother-in-law, and then we had one of my husband's brother and his family, his dad, and then we had a couple other people that were friends that we invited. So we had a pretty good group in our house, and I had purchased just really small gifts for everybody that came. Very, you know, very, very small, very inexpensive. Probably, I don't necessarily want to let the cat out of the bag, because some of the people that were there might watch this, but I mean, honestly, we probably spent about $3 on each gift, so we didn't go crazy or anything. And then after we did those gifts, then my husband said he had another gift for me, and he brought in this box, and this is what it was. Yes, that's a toaster oven. And it's a really nice one. And I feel like I have to explain this a little bit, because even some of the people that were there and saw me open it, they were kind of joking, with him about, oh, you got her a toaster oven. But the bottom line is, I really wanted a toaster oven. I really wanted one. I didn't ask for one for Christmas, but he knew that I had been looking for one. Because I had kind of thought that it would come in handy, especially just being the two of us, to cook a little something in there instead of heating up our big oven, because I think our big oven is starting to die, and it takes like half an hour just to get it preheated to whatever temperature you need. So I really thought that a toaster oven would be great, and I'd been kind of watching to see if I could find a deal or maybe find one at a thrift store. I actually had found some really nice ones at one of our thrift stores, and they must have been like display models from a store that they got, because the ovens themselves were really nice, but they didn't have any of the interior pieces. Like, it didn't have the shelf that you put your pan on or anything, so they really didn't work because of that. But I'd been looking for one for several months, and my husband knew that I wanted one, and so that was probably my second favorite gift, because it was something that I really wanted and needed, and I just appreciated that. Sometimes he'll ask me, well, what do you want? He wants suggestions and ideas, and I had given him some suggestions of things that I wanted, and that actually was not one of them, but it showed me that he did listen and pay attention to some of the things that I wanted or that I had been looking for. So I thought that was really sweet. The box is empty because it's already set up in the kitchen. We've already used it a few times, and it's been working out just wonderfully. So I love that. Okay, and then the final gifts, then we each had 2 gifts left for the other person, and we went ahead and waited and did those on Christmas Day. Christmas Day, that morning, I woke up and I was sick. I was nauseous. And that's been actually kind of typical the last few Christmases. Like, I kind of feel like a kid, and I want to get up early and I want to open the presents, but I'll just be nauseous, and we end up kind of waiting until it was probably like 11, 12 o'clock or something like that. But then I started feeling better. Then we went ahead and did our gifts. So I will show you what I got for him first. So my husband's favorite board game is called Sequence, and if you don't know what that is, it's a card game, but then you have a game board, and as you get the cards, you lay tokens on the board on that space that matches the card that you have, and you have to try to get 5 in a row, and I think you have to get 5 in a row twice in order to win. Well, I was looking online, and I was trying to find maybe something that would be similar to Sequence, maybe something along that lines, but maybe a little different or something like that. I wanted to see if I could find some new games. And one of the first things that I found was this, which is actually another copy of Sequence. We own like 3 or 4 Sequence games. Because, like, if he'll find one at a thrift store or something, he'll just go ahead and pick it up, because you never know when you might need it. But this one is a travel edition. So it's this little plastic case, and when you wait for your camera to focus, and you turn the lid over, and this is the game board, and it's got little holes in it. And so instead of the little like tokens that you lay on there, it's got little pegs that you fit in the holes as you find your spots. And then of course it came with the cards, and we we don't travel a lot, you know, compared to some people, but we usually go on at least one vacation a year if we can. Sometimes we'll even take, you know, maybe like a weekend trip here and there. And sometimes on those trips, I get sick. And sometimes we end up kind of stuck in our hotel room or in our cabin or wherever we're staying. And so I really thought it would be nice to have a travel game like that we could bring with us if we have some downtime. If, you know, if I'm not feeling well and I need to lay in bed, we could lay in bed and play a game. You know, I thought that would be a good idea. And then the last thing that I got for him is I started looking up, you know, sequence games, because I knew there were different versions of Sequence too, and that was originally what I thought I might be able to find. But then I found this one, which it says it's from the makers of Sequence, and I've never played this one, but it's called Kings in the Corner. We still have not had a chance to play it because we've just both been sick, and now he's back to work. So I was hoping maybe one evening we might get a chance to try it out, and hopefully it's going to be a fun game that we will enjoy as much as Sequence, hopefully. So those are all the things that I got for my husband. And then on Christmas Day, he had two more gifts for me. And one of the things that I had told him when he was asking me what I wanted, I said I wanted some more jewelry, especially I wanted necklaces. Sorry about the camera. But I really wanted some of the longer necklaces, because I have found that with the kidney trouble and things that I've been having, I've put on a lot of weight. My body is retaining a lot of fluid, and so I'm bigger than I used to be. And some of my necklaces are kind of short, and they either don't fit at all, or they don't fit right. Like, they don't fit comfortably the way I like them. So I told him I would like some jewelry, and I remember last year he got me some jewelry and I loved them. So I told him I wanted some necklaces, and I wanted some to make sure that they were just longer ones. So he picked out two different ones for me, and this is the one I dropped on the floor, so now it's kind of tangled. So let me just see if I can untangle this a little bit real quickly. This one is so pretty. I have to say, my husband has excellent taste in jewelry. He sometimes kind of doubts himself, and I told him this after Christmas when we were talking about it. I said, there has never been a gift that he got me that I didn't like. And in fact, he picked out my engagement ring and wedding ring. It was a set. He picked those out himself. He was trying to get me to tell him what I wanted, and I didn't really want, you know, I had looked at engagement rings and things like that before, and I didn't really want it to be a ring that I picked out. Like, I wanted him to pick it out, and I wanted it to be from him, like what he thought was really pretty. And it turned out it was like the most beautiful ring I've ever seen. I love it so much. I could not have picked anything better. So I think he has great taste. He just kind of doubts himself a little bit. So honey, if you watch this, you have really great taste in jewelry, and I love what you pick out. So this is one of the ones that he got me. And this one has this is why it keeps getting tangled. It's got like two chains together, and it's got these little pieces here that have little rhinestones in. So it's so pretty. It's very delicate, and you know, I love shiny blingy things, so you can't go wrong with that. So that was the first one he got me. I haven't worn this one yet, because we really haven't left the house very much since Christmas. And then the second one he got, which is just also very beautiful. This one has 3 strands, and it keeps getting kinks in it. And I don't know if you'll be able to tell, but the 3 strands, they're like silver, and each one has a different texture to it, like a different design in it. So it's really nice and long, and they're really thick chains. And then this one came with just a little simple set of earrings, just little silver studs, kind of like a half ball shape. I did actually end up wearing this one. I think we went out one day, I think to go to the doctor because we were so sick. I can't remember if my husband was going to the doctor, or I know I had one doctor's appointment too during that time. But anyway, I wore it to a doctor's appointment. So there you go. Excuse me. So those are the things that my husband and I got each other for Christmas this year. Nothing extravagant. We try not to go overboard. But you know, just things that what I really like are the more thoughtful gifts, you know, when you can tell someone's put some thought into it. Like, you know, like he got me the toaster oven and he got me the blanket. Those were things that he noticed a need. Because especially with the blanket, we just needed new blankets. Some of our blankets are so old and so thin and worn. And in fact, when we got this one, there was one blanket that I just threw in the trash. It was not worth saving. It had been falling apart. And I took it and I stitched it all back together with the sewing machine. But it was still, I mean, the fabric was almost worn through. It was so, that's how old our blankets are. So I just really appreciated him, and that he took notice of things that we needed. And I don't mind getting a gift that is something that I need. That I don't have a problem with that. In fact, one of the things I had asked him for was actually a vacuum cleaner. So, you know, if I had gotten a vacuum cleaner for Christmas, I would have been happy. But I was happy with my toaster oven, and I was happy with my blanket. You know, even though it's something we needed, it still is something that I can enjoy and appreciate. So I know my husband watches all of these videos, so I just want to say that I appreciate him and how thoughtful he is and how caring he is. And now I'm going to cry. But he takes such great care of me when I'm sick, and you know, he just does so much. And I feel like little gifts that I get for him don't even begin to repay him for all the things that he does. And I know that's not why he does it, but you know what I mean? It's you feel like you have to show someone how much you appreciate them, and a gift is just one way that you do that. But that's why I felt like the little book that I got was so special, because it can remind him of all the reasons that I love him. So, ending the video on that note. I hope you stay tuned in the coming year. Hopefully I've got some more videos coming soon. I've got some ideas that I wanted to do last year that I just never got around to. So I'm hoping that the new year is going to see some more new videos from me, that we will get some new subscribers. I had kind of set a goal for myself that I wanted to reach 100 subscribers by the end of 2017, and I did that. I actually had gotten up to 119, but now it went back down to 115. But still, you know, I had wanted 100, so 115 is great. If you are new here, I would love to have you subscribe if you would like to. If you know someone that you think might enjoy some of my videos, feel free to share them. You can share them on Facebook. You can share them on YouTube. You know, send a link to somebody if you think they might enjoy it. And I don't know what else to say. I guess that's it. So I hope that you all have a wonderful 2018, and be sure to join us for what videos are going to come in the future. Bye.